proceed with this?
Sure, I will.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, I welcome Dr. Madhavi Bramhanapalli, and she will speak on the topic RuBisCO, the most abundant and sustainable protein on earth. I now request the speaker to begin. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, ma'am, for inviting me, for giving me this opportunity to speak on the topic RuBisCO, the most abundant and sustainable protein on earth. Myself, Dr. Madhavi Bramhanapalli. I am working as the principal scientist at the Proleri. I am holding PhD degree in plant sciences department from the University of Hyderabad and have 4 years of experience in plant biology and protein biochemistry. Then coming to the Proleri founders, Mr. Vaibhav and Mr. Arjun. Both of them are having almost 30 plus years of experience in the corporate sectors like Uber and Genpact. So initially, due to their interest with farming, they have quit their jobs and have subsequently went for farming. And while farming, they have been understood that lot of agricultural waste is being discarded once the crops are being harvested. So based on the interest in the sustainable agricultural farming as well as the both of them are from the vegetarian background, so they want to even develop some plant-based products. So together they have been established or funded Proleri, which is focused on transforming the waste biomass into the novel protein isolates. So this is the background of the founders. So coming to the protein problem, so majorly the protein problem in India is based on 3 different things. One is the increasing demand, global demand for the protein market, where sustainable and high quality proteins are being required to meet the demand of the population in India as well as the worldwide. So another major problem is unsustainable animal protein. The animal protein is unsustainable because it is having high environmental impact, high energy resources impact. At the same time, the scaling of these animal-based proteins will not be sufficient to meet the demand of the protein requirement in the market. So another major thing is low quality plant-based proteins. So already whatever the commercial proteins available in the market are currently they are having soya protein, whey protein, pig protein. They are having some of the other problems you are having lack of essential amino acids, and you are having allergenic issues, and you are having low digestibility issues. So based on all these, Proleri has aimed to being the India's first leaf protein company to unlock the potential of the protein, that is RuBisCO, which is considered to be the holy grail of the plant protein. So another major problem is agricultural waste. India on an average generates around 500 million tons of agricultural residues annually. So these agricultural residues which are generated, or some part is being diverted to animal feed and fodder, and some part for mulching process. But majorly, most of the agricultural biomass is currently being discarded, left to decompose or burnt at the field level. So more sustainable management of these surplus agricultural biomass need to be taken care. Here, leaf protein polarization is a sustainable process. It supports the circular bioeconomy. This circular bioeconomy, why I am telling is it will reduce the agricultural waste, at the same time lowers the environmental impact by reducing the GHG emissions which are being released due to this open field burning or decomposition. So by loss of the valuable nutrients are also being brought back into the nature by which in the form of the protein isolates, alternative protein isolates. So coming to these drawbacks of the traditional practices, like just as we discussed, residue burning or the agricultural biomass which is left over at the field generates the lot of greenhouse gas emissions and thereby leads to air pollution, which in turn leads to global warming. And at the simultaneously, the soil biodiversity is lost and the soil fertility is also declined. So these loss of valuable nutrients need to be recovered through biomass polarization. So coming to what is RuBisCO? RuBisCO is basically it's an enzyme that is present in all green leaves and plants. So RuBisCO is basically involved in carbon fixation during photosynthesis. Apart from carbon fixation, it also does the oxygenase activity, which is called like photorespiration. So RuBisCO in that way it will help in carbon sequestration as well as the oxygen generation during the photosynthesis process and thus reduces the global carbon footprint as well as. So one of the famous visionary that is Vinod Khosla of Khosla Ventures. He has given a statement in his meeting that RuBisCO is most prevalent protein on the planet and it will enable much better environmental friendly alternative proteins that animal proteins and even better than current plant-based proteins like soya and corn. So coming to the like briefly, I will explain where RuBisCO is present in the plants and everything. So coming to the agricultural biomass, we will take the leaves from the agricultural biomass, and the leaves are in turn having the cell walls, and this is the like structure of the plant cell. So once we want to extract the RuBisCO from the leaf, we need to break the cell wall and the cell membranes which are surrounded. And inside the cell, this is the chloroplast. This is the enlarged image of the chloroplast. So RuBisCO is present in the chloroplast, which is in turn present in stroma of the chloroplast. So this is the RuBisCO structure. So RuBisCO, in order to extract RuBisCO, these cell wall of the plants need to be broken so that it will get released into the soluble form. RuBisCO is the soluble protein which is like accounts up to 50 to 65% of the total leaf protein. So coming to like so many plant proteins are there, why we have to choose RuBisCO? So coming to this, so RuBisCO, why RuBisCO means like it is the abundant protein as we have discussed. It is the major abundant protein in the world and on the earth as well. So it is basically RuBisCO itself. It is the allergenic free protein and it is having all essential amino acids. Hence, it is also known as complete protein. So RuBisCO is also having like taste and color. They are neutral in taste and color. So RuBisCO is a highly digestible protein and the digestibility is comparable to the animal proteins, and hence the RuBisCO is gaining more importance nowadays. RuBisCO as a protein it has inherent functional properties like binding, foaming, oil and water holding capacity, emulsification, gelation behavior. So all these functional properties are required for any protein to have a versatile plant-based applications in the food formulation. So RuBisCO is having all these functional properties and hence it has future scope of using in the food formulations. So now we just compare the RuBisCO protein with other plant-based proteins like which are commercially available like soya protein, pea protein, wheat protein. So wholesome RuBisCO protein has the nutritional value and protein concentration as equivalent to the soya protein, and it is having no allergens. So soya protein, pea protein, or wheat protein are having some or the other kind of allergenic properties. So the functionality is also comparable with or is better than the soya protein and other plant-based proteins. So taste, already we have discussed that RuBisCO is neutral in taste and odor, whereas the other proteins comes up with their own raw material flavor, having beany flavor, off flavors, and bitterness. So now we have discussed what is RuBisCO and why we are using RuBisCO and where the RuBisCO is present. Now we will discuss about the different protein sources that are available. So based on the protein sources, they are being distinguished into 3 different types: regenerative plants, which are regularly used like amaranth, spinach, moringa, etc. So they are like having on 20 to 40% of protein on a dry weight basis, and 3 to 5% on the wet weight basis, the protein content in those leaves. So agricultural byproducts, these are the plants which are like after harvesting the products like carrots, cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, etc. The leaves are thrown at the field level or left to decomposition, or they be burnt at the field level, causing the greenhouse gas emissions. So these agricultural byproducts are being utilized as the protein source, raw material source for the for generation of the protein isolates. So these raw materials are having 10 to 25% of protein on the dry weight basis and 1 to 3% on the wet weight basis. So other third type of protein source is the forage crops. Forage crops like alfalfa, ryegrass, red clover. Basically, they are used for the feed. They are used as feed or fodder for the animals. So these are also having good amount of protein. On a dry basis, they are having 50 to 30% of protein, and on the wet weight basis, they are having 2 to 4% of the protein. So for the commercial scale up of RuBisCO protein isolates, agricultural byproducts or forage crops will best fit into the window. So, coming to the overview of the Proleri, what we have done, how we have untapped the opportunity of the extraction of RuBisCO protein from the agricultural waste to generate the sustainable and alternative protein sources, is like we have conducted 600 plus experiments using 20 plus diverse varieties of leaves at the lab scale, and we have developed a patented extraction technology. So the different leaf types basically which we have been utilized were being categorized based on the crop volume as well as the protein yield. So they have been like we have identified the plants based on the increase in crop volume at the same time with the high yield variety which is required for any technology to be commercially viable. So the extraction technology which we have optimized is for three parameters. So basically for three parameters, that is yield and purity of the RuBisCO protein isolates, which is a very important criteria for any technology to be commercially viable. And the next important one is the sensory properties. The sensory properties like taste, of fruits and smell need to be not should not be there for any commercially viable protein isolates in order to enhance the consumer acceptance of the isolates, as well as the safety of the consumers is important. So coming to that third point, non-nutritional components need to be eliminated during the process, and this is the major limitation for the already available commercial plant-based proteins. Coming to the overall Proleri model, so Proleri, what it does is it will gather the agricultural waste from farmers. So in the next slide, I will let you know about how this agricultural waste is being gathered, and the agricultural waste is then subjected to our patented extraction technology to generate RuBisCO protein isolates, which are which are having around 80 to 89% of protein. And this will be Proleri serves as a B2B company where we are supplying the protein ingredients to the plant product protein companies, so which will generate the better plant-based products like protein bars, cookies, chips, and many other products. So coming to the and these protein isolates also will help in the elimination or help in the use of the animal-based proteins, which are like nowadays the public are having many health concerns regarding the use of these whey protein isolates. So in this entire overall Proleri model, the farmers are getting more benefited as their income is increasing to up to 10%. So here for example, we are collecting the broccoli leaves from the farmers. In turn, we are paying them money. So in this way, the income of the farmers is increasing up to 10%. So here, coming to that partnership, we have been partnered with other FPOs and farmers, where the FPOs are having around 600 plus farmers with 300 plus acres of the broccoli farms. So by utilizing the broccoli agricultural waste which is left at the field, we are even reducing the greenhouse gas emissions that are being emitted by these unwanted agricultural waste. And this represents how the farmer is generally getting the income of 75,000, which is being increased to 80,000, which basically shows that 80% 10% increase in the farmers' income. So this is how collectively Proleri and farmers are growing each other and finally the planet as well. So with broccoli, there are few problems like seasonal variations because of seasonal conditions. Sometimes we will not be having the broccoli leaves. So to overcome this and run the commercial plant successfully, we have been focused on other alternative plant source, which is the forage crop, that is the alfalfa plants. So we have this is alfalfa is also a sustainable source of plant-based protein. Alfalfa protein is highly nutritional in value as well as the functional properties, and whatever the already existing problems with respect to extraction and purification techniques as well as the sensory properties and functional properties. So our extraction technology take cares of all these challenges and is able to produce pure RuBisCO protein, which is around 80%. So we also have like to optimize the variations due to seasonal conditions. So we have optimized we have conducted a study to identify the correlation between the harvest frequency and the protein yield. So these graphs basically represents the data for the harvest yield, which is the best harvest frequency and which gives the more yield as well as the purity, along with the techno-functional properties, maintaining the techno-functional properties of the protein isolates. So first harvest time is around 45 days with the harvest frequency of 25 to 30 days. So for every 25 to 30 days, we can harvest the leaves and utilize for the protein extraction. So for the estimated amount of 6 tons is biomass can be generated from 6 to 7 acres of 6 to 7 harvests in 6 months. So, like we have been discussed other extraction technologies to isolate the RuBisCO protein based on the leaf variety. We need to do many optimization parameters to be done. So, initially, what basically the extraction process looks like is like we need to harvest the leaves and then washing and cleaning of the leaves happens. Then pre-treatment of the leaves. So, in the pre-treatment, like juicing, grinding will happen, and then stabilization of the solution will happen. If required, the solution will be subjected to heating. And then the extraction techniques, different extraction techniques are there, like physical extraction, which involves ultrasonication, ultrafiltration, pulse electric field, microwave extraction, and different physical extraction techniques are available right now. And the chemical-based extractions where acids or alkalis or solvents are being used for extracting the protein. And the third is the biological extraction where fermentation is being employed or enzymatic extraction is being employed. So we can use the extraction techniques alone or in combination with the physical and chemical extraction. But for any food grade ingredients, less the solvents or chemicals used, more easy will be the downstream processing. So we have Proleri has developed an extraction method which is commercially feasible with less effect on the downstream processing as it is the water-based extraction technique. So, in general, there is the physical nutritional value or the properties of the protein even depends on the extraction methods. So, yield, purity, nutritional quality, and nutritional properties of the protein isolates is largely they will vary depending on the type of method we are using. So processing conditions during the extraction method like temperature, pH, ionic strength, and mechanical treatment are also will also alter the protein structure and in turn the functionality of the protein isolates have been affected. So the extraction methods even they will enhance or reduce the functional properties. So basically the functional properties which we have discussed like solubility, emulsification, foaming, water holding, and oil holding capacity. So whatever extraction technology is being employed, we need to optimize these above parameters in order to obtain the native protein isolate with native RuBisCO structure, which will have the superior functional performance and can be versatilely useful in many food applications. So therefore, selecting appropriate method is being employed to obtain the high quality RuBisCO protein ingredients and for specific food formulations. So apart from the extraction methods, so one of the major concern is also like safety parameters. So safety characterization of the protein isolates need to be done. to ensure the safety and safety of the RuBisCO protein isolates, we need to analyze the different components by different analytical methods, like the components like anti-nutritional factors. Anti-nutritional factors, why means plant leaves are generally rich of these anti-nutritional factors. More the presence of anti-nutritional factors in the final protein isolate, it will hamper the absorption value of the nutrients as well as the digestibility of the protein. So our technique should take care of the removal of all these anti-nutritional factors. On the other hand, microbiological safety is also important. Elimination of heavy metals, pesticide residues. If any toxins are present, that is also required to be eliminated. Whatever solvents or contaminants during the process also need to be checked. So the protein isolate should be devoid of all these factors, and we need to for the consumer safety and this thing. Protein isolates which are developed should be in compliance with the food regulations like FSSAI. So our RuBisCO protein isolate comes under the food regulation. This thing like under vegetable protein category 12.1. So no further food regulations are required for the RuBisCO protein isolates. So compared to this thing, so we can either depending on the conditions, we can use the broccoli and alfalfa mixed together as well. And what impact it is going to bring is like by utilizing the broccoli agricultural waste for our pilot trials, which is around 60 metric tons per year. The GHG emissions will be avoided by 125 metric tons. So by utilizing the agricultural waste which is left at the field level, the GHG emissions are also avoided. At the commercial level, around 6,000 metric tons of CO2 equivalent per year can be avoided. So this is the leaf protein which is resource efficient and helps in overcoming the GHG emissions. So not only that, 100 grams of our protein compared to the eggs, it will be reducing the GHG emissions up to 50%, and compared to milk, it will be reducing up to 20% of the less emissions. This is for the production of the protein isolates as well. So every ton of the broccoli leaves processed delivers double climate benefit. One is the GHG avoided by waste valorization, and the other thing is the replacement of higher emission animal-based proteins like whey. This is basically there is a climate impact that will be taken care by the Proleri. So coming to the plant protein market, so global plant protein market ingredient market is estimated or is rapidly increasing and is projected to be around 1,85,000 crores, of which 7.5% is CAGR, and it will be reaching up to by 2029. So of this, the Asia Pacific market is also the fastest growing market, which is having 9% CAGR. And of this 9% CAGR, Proleri, the novel protein ingredients will capture around 10% of the market. So egg white replacement alternative market is also the significant market, which gives us the opportunity of the projected value of 13,500 crores. Of this 13,500 crores, India market value of B2B company is around estimated market is around 765, and the serviceable market is around 495 crores. Of this 495 crores, Proleri is capturing around 5% of the, will be projected to capture 5% of the market. So this is basically the market value of the company. So we have discussed the extraction methods and the type of whey protein sources and the protein market available in the global wide. So now the whatever extraction technology we have developed, it has resulted in, it is the zero waste technology, where the final zero product is the RuBisCO Supreme. This is the RuBisCO Supreme, which is off-white in color, and it is having around 85%, 85 to 90% of protein. It is having all 9 essential amino acids. Why it is the complete? Why it is named called the complete protein? It is having the pH score value of 1. The taste is neutral taste and odor, and it is showing excellent functional properties. And based on these functional properties, we are positioning the RuBisCO Supreme as the egg white replacement for its applications in the bakery products like cakes, muffins, etc. So these are the protein bars which are being prepared by utilizing the Supreme. So we have even formulated with the companies like Awesome, Simplify Foods, and many on. And we have even partnered with Proleri. Proleri has been partnered with the NIFTIM to develop the products. So, and we have even received 2 LOIs. So this with the different partnerships, the success rate, the success is basically the trial feedback is like awesome. They have told that the RuBisCO protein isolates can replace the egg white whey protein isolate, which is currently used in preparing cakes and muffins. So our protein is able to successfully replace that protein, as well as the simplified foods have been given the trial feedback that RuBisCO protein isolates superior in the fast and ready to eat soups. It is also like a 15 fully partnership has resulted in like RuBisCO that can easily be a better and cost effective egg alternative protein. So basically, we are positioning the first as the egg alternative protein. Later, we will go into other food applications as well. So this is as I have mentioned previously that the technology developed is zero waste technology, and the RuBisCO Supreme as the main hero ingredient, and this is the product which is generated during the process. RuBisCO Plus. RuBisCO Plus is also having 65% of protein. It is also allergen free and have all essential amino acids. But only thing is it is having uh, green color and leafy taste. Whereas the RuBisCO Supreme is the off-white protein isolate and it will be visible in all the food type ingredients. So this RuBisCO Plus is also having the functional properties like foaming, oil holding capacity, emulsification, solubility, etc. And this applications coming to the applications of RuBisCO Plus, it is being used as a protein enhancers to soup, pasta, cattle feed, etc. So we even have formulated the cookies with the RuBisCO Plus, and the taste was really good. Without, no leafy taste was being observed. So coming to the first product during the process, that is fiber rich product, which basically contains up to 22% of the protein and 60 to 70% of dietary fiber. So we have did a few formulations like biscuits and which are having high fiber content and also the protein up to 22%. So this fiber is also well suited for extrusion based applications as well. All the protein isolates, as they are having high oil and water holding capacity, they can be used in plant-based meat applications as well. So, Proleri, coming to the things that Proleri has secured, it is the winner of the Food Processing Startup Challenge organized by Ministry of Food Processing in India. It is the second run. Proleri has secured second runner-up position in the Thai Global Summit 2024. Proleri has been the finalist at Impact competition organized by Bharat and CCAM. So it has secured a few investments, seed investments from which it also Proleri has also have received the prestigious HDFC Eco Innovative Grant as well as the Chemi Grant by Venture Center. We are even have been selected for the DBT Bharat combined program, that is Bio E3 program. We have been selected for that program as well. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your wonderful presentation. I will take up the questions now. In the meantime, can you please stop sharing the screen, ma'am, so that we can see your full video? Okay, I'll move on to the questions now, ma'am.
Yes, sure.
Ma'am, does RuBisCO differ from conventional plant proteins such as soy, pea, or wheat protein?
Yes, ma'am. RuBisCO differs from conventional plant sources like soya, pea protein, and other plant-based proteins in its amino acid composition. Basically, except soya protein, other plant-based proteins are having or lack of all 9 essential amino acids in the composition, nutritional value based. So they are having few they lack few of the essential amino acids. But coming to the RuBisCO protein, it's the complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids. Basically, composition is totally different.
Okay. Ma'am, how can RuBisCO contribute to global food security and nutrition?
Like as I said, like RuBisCO is having all the amino acids and the as we have discussed during presentation, it is the most abundant protein in the world. So we need to unlock that opportunity to be so that it will be in future it will help to meet the demand of the global food security problem. Not only that, the RuBisCO protein itself is highly digestible in nature. So it is having Piliga score value of 1, which means the RuBisCO protein is easily digestible by the human digestive enzymes. So we have even conducted in vitro protein digestibility assays, which have resulted in more than 90% of the digestibility, which is even comparable to the whey protein as well.
Okay. Which crops are the best sources for extracting RuBisCO?
Basically, ma'am, like the crops like broccoli, cauliflower, which are being thrown as the agricultural waste at the field level, they are the best sources. And apart from these things, like our study has also shown that alfalfa is also one of the emerging plant with high protein and fiber content as well. So these are the best crops that can be utilized for protein. So basically, for any protein extraction technology to be commercially viable, the initial food protein level should be high in the plants. So apart from these plants, other plants like kale, sugar beet leaves, they are also showing the high protein content in the leaves. So those crops can also be exploited for the commercial scale extraction of RuBisCO protein.
Okay. Can farmers generate additional income by supplying crop biomasses for RuBisCO extraction?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely, they can initially starting from 10%, they can obtain 10% increase in the amount which they are getting. And not only that, on the other hand, by collecting those agricultural waste from the farmers, which generally around 5 to 8 rupees we will be paying per kg for them. So not only that, the amount they will be spending to valorize that agricultural biomass which is left, that also will be prevented for them. So that also will reduce the cost impact. So one side we will be reducing the cost, another side 10% increase in the farmer's income is also being provided to them. Yes, sir.
Okay. Ma'am, is it possible to extract RuBisCO from agricultural residues or byproducts that are currently underutilized?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely we can extract the RuBisCO protein from agricultural byproducts or agricultural residues which are currently underutilized and left at the field level. So they are the source, and only criteria which we need to keep in mind is the leaf raw material supply should be the whatever the company or the industry should be in and around the field, so that within 8 hours of time the raw material which is left at the field need to be reached to that company, so that loss of protein degradation we can prevent. Only that is the criteria which we need to keep in mind before we process.
Okay. Uh, Could the commercialization of RuBisCO create new opportunity for farming community, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, definitely RuBisCO commercialization will produce an opportunity for the farmers. So one side is, as we discussed, agricultural taking the agricultural waste from farmers, as well as we will be doing a contract manufacturing. Not only we, many of the protein ingredient companies they have to go even for contract manufacturing, where farmers will be given more opportunity for the more opportunity for the RuBisCO protein biomass generation. So it's a good opportunity to farmers as well.
Okay. What are the major technological challenges in extracting and purifying RuBisCO at a commercial scale?
Yes, ma'am. Major challenges which we are facing in like first I will tell the raw material source and supply. So as we have been told, the raw material source and supply should happen within the period of time after harvesting them. And coming to the technical challenges which we are facing is the consistency in the yield and purity across various batches. So we have to optimize the protocol in such a way that the whatever biomass of irrespective of the seasonal variations, we will get the consistent yield and purity of the final protein isolates generated. So major challenge is the this thing only, ma'am. And another challenge is to maintain the techno-functional properties of the protein isolates. So that is also one of the key factor which we need to consider to obtain the protein isolates with the functional properties. When this RuBisCO is having functional properties, it will have versatile applications in food-based industries. So these two parameters, yield, purity, and functional properties, are to be taken care. And these are the where we will face the technical challenges.
Okay. In what types of food product can RuBisCO protein be used, ma'am?
So RuBisCO protein can be used. First major thing where we can use the RuBisCO is it can be used as the egg white replacement. So so in preparation of cakes or muffins, completely our RuBisCO protein isolate is able to replace the egg white protein. So we don't need so it will be having some mainly the vegan based applications as well. So the vegan people will not eat animal based proteins. So RuBisCO can replace that market as well as the whey protein concentrate, which is now commercially used in cakes and muffins. So whey protein concentrate can also be replaced by our RuBisCO protein isolates. And the other market areas are like ready-to-eat products like soups, protein bars, cookies, and all these are the applications where our RuBisCO protein isolate can fit in. So later, as the company establishes the commercial setup, we will be even going to B2C ingredients as well.
Okay, ma'am. I'll move on to the next question.
Sure.
What industries are likely to adopt RuBisCO protein first, ma'am?
So basically, the plant-based protein companies, uh, there are high chances of adopting the RuBisCO protein isolates. So we are even trying as part of the thing. We are even trying with many different companies like Awesome, Simplify Foods, and many other companies, so that they can incorporate our products into the protein-based products. So that is the large opportunity which is there for the plant-based protein market.
Okay.
Coming not only that, ma'am, like pea protein isolates or other isolates which are being right now used. So the functional properties of RuBisCO protein are much more better than those other plant-based protein isolates. That is where the RuBisCO protein can even replace those proteins in future. So coming to other commercially available plant-based protein isolates, as they are lacking one or the other essential amino acids, the blend of the protein isolates need to be done and to get overall health. But by consuming RuBisCO protein, which is having all 9 essential amino acids, it will be more beneficial to the customer as well. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What opportunities does this field offer for young researchers, food technologists, and biotechnology entrepreneurs?
So like research scopes, see, ma'am, like a lot of opportunities are there. Still, more research has to be done in this area. A lot of plants need to be explored for obtaining the RuBisCO protein isolates. So apart from whatever plants we have discussed, other plants are also there uh, where the food protein content is higher and they can be still they are not they are underutilized they are as underutilized resources in the fields. So lot of opportunities are there where we can explore all those plant sources and can be utilized for generating the protein isolates in future.
Okay. Ma'am, what message would you like to leave with farmers, researchers, entrepreneurs, and consumers about the role of RuBisCO in building a sustainable and food secure future?
Uh, Message, or it is the request that everyone need to now take an action towards the climate protection. So in order to do that, we need to move towards the sustainable protein sources. More opportunities has to be explored towards this sustainable protein sources, which will even impact the climate by reducing the greenhouse gas emissions, which is the major concern nowadays, like which everyone is facing. So we are even seeing the climatic changes irrespective of the seasons. So, in order to protect the nature, we need to move towards the sustainable agricultural practices and utilize the sources to generate the valuable products. That is the request as well as message from Proleri.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. We have now completed the round of questions. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we would like to thank Dr. Madhavi for the talk and for answering the questions. This meeting will now be closed.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you once again for giving me this opportunity.
That's right, ma'am.
Can I disconnect?
Yes, ma'am. Sure.